We rely on the concept, the cause is within me. We proceed from the fact that at each moment of time, the material reality that we observe is a complete, clear reflection of what is happening in our consciousness on all levels. From the superficial level of the thought process, our thoughts, to the deepest level, our hidden desires. There are many levels. There are subconscious programs, there are deep beliefs, and beliefs that are taken from the collective unconscious, which we do not question, but our desires are at the heart of everything. And if we look at the world in this way, we form a kind of physics from this point of view, in which at every moment all desires have already been fulfilled. And the point being here is not to learn to wish correctly, or to formulate desires correctly, or to think positively, but to see the state of your consciousness in the mirror of the world, here and now. In particular, a set of those desires, sometimes or very often contradictory desires, which like crayfish, pike, and swan, pull in different directions, eventually creating this reality. Therefore, our entire concept is built on, or our entire technology boils down to a very simple question: why do I want this? If something does not suit me in my material reality, if I believe that my desires are not fulfilled, then in fact I simply do not know my desires. I ask myself the question, why do I want this reality, this specific state of my world? And with this question we kind of reveal our inner depth. We go through our superficial desires that we know about, and which, as we think, exhaust our entire inner world. We want a good stable job, a high salary, an apartment, a house, a car, whatever it could be, or a villa, a yacht, or to surprise the whole world, or receive a Nobel Prize, make a discovery in science, write a masterpiece. If we think that these are our desires, and we look at the world, but they do not happen, look, there we have to fight for the fulfillment of these desires. For me to have a better job, I have to fight in the labor market. For me to be recognized, I have to fight with other creators, and so on. But if you look at the world from the point of view that our desires have already been fulfilled, then this question, why do I want this, opens the door to the deepest part of our consciousness, and we find out our true desires. If now, instead of a high income, a good house, a beautiful car, recognition in society, I have poverty, illness, dissatisfaction with my primary needs, rejection, then I ask myself the question, why do I want this? And overcoming the inner resistance that naturally arises at the level of the mind that, no, I don't want this, I want something completely different. With the help of this question, we open our own depths. It may turn out that I want this poverty, these diseases, these problems, in order to motivate myself to leave the space of concrete struggle, where only a few are achieving success, and this success is very shaky, short-lived, and fleeting. And I want to plunge into the space of comprehending my own inner truth, which is unique, unlike anything, for which I don't have to fight with anyone, compete with anyone, prove anything to anyone, but to reveal this depth in myself. And as soon as I open it in myself, I begin to present it to the world, creating a space that has never been there, where I am the best, the first, and will never be replaced by anyone, because I am the only one expressing my uniqueness. And in this understanding of my uniqueness, presenting this uniqueness to the world, each time scooping up, plunging deeper and deeper into myself, this truth is expressed more and more in new forms, and I am forever new, forever unique. You can't keep up with me, you can't copy me. And in that moment, I create the space of my real existence, which is reflected in abundance both in income and in the level of quality of life and in recognition from others. And I, most importantly, do not compete with anyone here. I create this abundance from within. For example, this might be the answer. As they say, the answer is from the end of the textbook. It is, of course, better to come to it not through an interview, but by asking yourself the question, why do I want this state of the world? I wanted to show you by this example that from the most hopeless, seemingly the most undesirable situations that seem unacceptable to your mind in the external world, in external reality, such beauty can be born, such depth can be born, then everything will be justified. After all, Dostoevsky was born out of a public conviction and a civil conviction and was sentenced to 10 years of hard labor which he endured. There would be no Dostoevsky, there would be an ordinary professor at the university, if this depth, this negative, in quotation marks, experience did not happen. Tolstoy was born from the knowledge of his darkness, from his experience of being a spoiled little rich kid to whom everything was available, who squandered money and having found his own dead ends in his experience. Geniuses are born out of these unpleasant situations, and a simple question leads to this. Why do I want this? A simple position leads to this. Everything that surrounds me in my world is a projection of my consciousness. In essence, this is condensed consciousness, materialized consciousness. I do not need to possess any psychological training or self-hypnosis or auto-training in order to go into myself and know myself. I don't need regression or any other special technology. I just look in the mirror of my material reality, and if something doesn't suit me, I ask myself, why do I want this? With the help of this tool, an enormous depth opens up that would not otherwise be available. Here's a simple position. My world is the embodiment of my desires. Another thing is that there's more than one desire. I just drew a simple picture here, but there may be a combination of desires, many different contradictory desires, pulling in different directions, crayfish, pikes, and swans. Therefore, what is being promoted here is self-knowledge instead of self-development. Self-development, spiritual growth. Here we're talking about self-knowledge. Here you have to fall into yourself, to go deep into yourself. This self-knowledge, with the help of the simple tool, why do I want this, reveals the real inner truth, space, your genius, uniqueness, your inner creator that the world awaits from you.